play by the rules and lose, succumbing to a fascist horror far beyond even the worst of today, or do what needs to be done to drive out this fascist Trump regime. This is Bob Avakian, Revolution number 134. Here is some plain and crucial truth. If things are approached as Democrats versus Republicans, and the question is reduced to how can the Democratic Party defeat the Republican Party electorally on the terms of how things are done under this system, that will utterly fail to deal with the very real and rapidly accelerating horrors of the Trump fascist regime. Faced with a massive outrage and demand for action on the part of the tens of millions that the Democrats need to vote for them, the approach of the Democratic Party amounts to supporting, even encouraging, some mass opposition, including protests against policies and actions of the Trump regime, but with the overall aim of stringing people along and then funneling all the opposition to Trump into the midterm elections next year, 2026. Elections which Trump may not even allow, or allow only if he can control the outcome. The depth of the contradictions that set the terms and limits for the Democratic Party in opposing the Trump fascist regime is beyond what I can get into right now. But the basic fact is this: while particular Democratic Party politicians may contribute to the fight against Trump MAGA fascism, the Democratic Party as an institution will not and cannot unleash and lead the kind of massive political upheaval that is necessary to have a real chance to drive out the Trump fascist regime. Accepting the terms and the limits set by the Democratic Party will seriously cripple the urgently necessary struggle to defeat and remove this regime. It is only if things are posed as the tens of millions of decent people against this fascist regime, and those who oppose this regime refuse to be limited by the procedures and confines of the normal operation of the system, it is only in this way that there will be a real chance to drive out this regime. In previous messages, I have pointed to the historic importance of the call from refusefascism.org. The time has come for the fall of the Trump fascist regime, beginning November 5, 2025, Washington, D.C., which speaks plainly and sharply to what we face and what needs to be done urgently. Fascism is not a looming threat. It is upon us now. Humanity's only hope is for the decent people of this country to rise in our millions. We cannot wait for future and rigged elections. We must drive the Trump fascist regime from power. Beginning November 5, the one-year anniversary of Trump's election, flood D.C. in nonviolent protests. Surround the White House. Surround the Capitol. Surround the illegitimate fascist-packed Supreme Court. Come back again and again. Across the country, refuse to comply. Every person of conscience, millions of us together, grind the machinery of this fascist regime to a halt. Don't stop until Trump is removed. Here it is important to repeat what I've said in previous messages, and specifically number 132. about the way the call from Refuse Fascism could have a real possibility of actually succeeding in driving out the Trump fascist regime. In keeping with the unprecedented nature of what is happening with the terrible tyranny of this fascist regime, what is being called for is an unprecedented historic mobilization and convergence of millions in D.C., determined to create a massive political earthquake from below, bringing about a profound political crisis such that the completely illegitimate nature of the Trump fascist regime stands out all the more sharply, provoking and motivating major shifts and realignments throughout society, including within the dominant institutions, such that this regime can no longer function and cannot remain in power. And there is the ongoing need for more and more people, while working tirelessly to build for this massive mobilization and convergence, to also actively grapple on both the theoretical and practical levels with how this upsurge from below could combine with deepening divisions within the ruling institutions to actually bring about the removal of Trump and his entire fascist regime. As emphasized by Refuse Fascism in issuing this historic call, it is open to all, everyone and every organization and group that is outraged by the accelerating atrocities of the Trump fascist regime. There is the immediate and urgent need to unite all who can be united, overcoming all divide and conquer schemes, working tirelessly to actively build the necessary political momentum and solve the practical requirements that will make possible the massive nonviolent mobilization and convergence of millions to D.C. beginning November 5, with the unifying and determined aim of driving out this monstrous fascist regime.